Hey, Shalom Markins, Rakal Makapash from JMS Lana, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of JMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, preaching his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. We see the ongoing, reports and, the news feeds, all these Epstein files, and there's always something new coming out of them, and, it's all a big ass show, right, to keep people distracted from other things that are going on in the planet, right? But it does serve to show you how dark and grimy Esau's world really is, you know. And that's not to say that all this information that they apparently got or that they're releasing is true or whatever the case may be. But we do know Esau, you know, is doing these things behind the scenes in much larger proportions than is being kind of reported on, right? We've known this for a long time, right? And this is the thing with the wicked, right? The wicked have always existed, or people doing wicked things and hideous and odious works of witchcraft, right? Which Scripture speaks about, concerning the Canaanites. These other nations have always done wickedness, right, and great evil, right? But now we have the wicked in power, and you don't think they're taking it to levels unheard of before? Of course, these men are the wicked, and they've accumulated all this ancient pagan knowledge, of all these different witchcrafts and all these different civilizations, man, and they're just, working overtime on it, right? So although Epstein and what was happening on his island and around him, I know that's what's being focused on, man. But what Esau's doing, these elites are doing, is it goes way beyond, like I said, what's being put in the news, right? Because they just want you to focus on the news because it's a distraction. It's a good distraction, especially they not releasing all the files and all this kind of stuff. You have you talking about it for fucking ages, right? But nothing's really happening. Nothing's really happening. They're just talking about it. Nothing's actually happening. No one's being arrested. Nothing's happening. My man's dead in it, so it's like, well, case closed, I guess. But nothing's happening. So it's just a bunch of people talking about it and complaining about it. What it does do, other than create a distraction, is create enmity and division in Esau's world, right? And tarnishes that Edomite, or at least the Edomite elites type level rulership, and and this is going on. These are Americans or whatever, right? Everyone's getting involved with all these Edomites are getting involved, and even those that are being run by these Edomites, i.e., the celebrity, other celebrities, whether it be of Jake or whatever nation they're from, right? Being invited to these parties or whatever, right? The whole of Esau's consortium of you know of rulers and NPCs, right? These dudes that Esau's got influence and control over, man. It shows you how gritty this world really is, and it's something we've been talking about. Well, we've spoken about for a long time, beginning of Elders and Apostles, man. All the witchcraft and the sacrificing and just just devilry, right? Satanicness of what these guys do, all right? And drips and drabs are coming out of it, but like I said, it all serves its purpose in the downfall of America. That's what it does do. All right, so like I say, even though nothing particularly is happening with these people that are, you know, um, being connected to these files, right? It does serve, some, in the Most High's scheme, it does serve a purpose. It does, is doing something, right? But let me get this from Revelation 17, verse 1. So, and there came out of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right, this great whore is America, because it's the most filthiest place on the planet. Right? I know we're gonna, Epstein's island. Well, America itself is filthy. Right? And this is what the Most High is going to destroy that place. right? Because there's a whole untold amount of evils that have gone on in the land of America. All right. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of fornication. Right? All these people that are in league with America, all these leaders from these different nations or whatever, right? And, like I said, they're all in cahoots, ultimately. They might have, these political differences that they put out there to the world, but really they're in cahoots, right? Really, they're all in cahoots, man. Putin, Jinping, and all these dudes, they all, they're really just involved with one another, man, right? In some form or fashion, right? And so they've committed fornication with America and gotten the sickness of America, right? The corruption. Verse 3 says, so he carried me away in the spirit of the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, right? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, right? Because that place is all about wickedness and evil witchcrafts and sacrifices and just foul, odious works, right? But this same woman or this nation, i.e., America, has been elevated to and given status beyond all nations in this world, right? It is the supreme head of this world in terms of its power, in terms of its wealth, and all these different types of things. And so it's looked upon as a great marvel in this world, right? All these nations aspire to be as great as America, but America has been built on blood and witchcraft. So that's the recipe for greatness in this world. Okay, these are the wicked that prosper in the world. You got to be the head honcho wicked in this world to be the to rule it, right? Because the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, and the Esau sits at the top because he is the wicked. He is the most vile people to exist and to have ever ruled. But that's why they are where they are. The Most High put them there, right, to fulfill prophecy. And so they're doing the most, right? And I said, this little Epstein thing is just little. I don't care how many pages. Which I still like, how these men got so much pages of this shit. I don't know. But it's like, even in these millions of pages these guys supposedly have, it's like, that's just a drop. That's just a drop in the water, man. Yeah, there's so much that has been going on before Epstein, after Epstein. There's still shit going on. You know what I'm saying? But no one's picking up on that. No one's investigating that. No one's doing anything. Okay, but it's fucking dark. This world is dark, man. It's ruled by darkness. Yet we're meant to believe that everything's all hunky dory. No, this place is ruled by darkness, by wickedness. These leaders, these people that are wealthy and powerful, it's all darkness up there, man. Supreme darkness. But we're meant to believe, this world is on the course of greatness or some shit. These people are here to lead the world into greatness. No. Like, this place is highly demonic. And so you're starting to see more of that come out. Like I said, there's things that come out in the past about all these different types of things, but it's like before it was like, it's like hearsay, it's just conspiracy theories. No one knows what these men are really doing, and all the hand signals and all this shit. Like, it's just hearsay shit. But you're starting to realize that shit, man, that stuff was actually going on. Yeah, it was going on. This is Isaiah 47 verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. America's lost its image. Okay, but it's lost its image from time ago, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse, man. America is not all glitz and glamour anymore. Okay, one time ago it was. It was just sparkly, it looked pretty. Oh, America, yeah. But it's just grimy now. You go to America, like when you see all the footage, all the like the skid rows, of America and stuff like that, because it's not the only place. Shit infested place. You know what I mean? It's grim. America's becoming grimmer. All right. So that effect, that it has on the world is being diminished, especially with more stuff like this, coming out, just making it look worse, look badder, right? So yeah, it should no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the fire, pass over the rivers, right? You're seeing the underneath of America, the dirty underbelly of America. Because on the outside, yeah, they're trying to distract you with the fucking lights and shit. But underneath, bro, there's a lot going on, bro. It's nasty. Disease infested. Like a dirty whore, right? The great whore, right? It's just nasty, man. And there's so much wickedness going on in that place. Like, it's unreal. But it's not getting told. It's not getting shown. It's not being spoken about. These men are talking like as if Epstein is the be all and end all of all this fucking madness. It's not. It's literally the tip of the iceberg. Or just because a few big names were mentioned in some files. Yeah, well, what's going to happen to them? Probably nothing. Nothing's probably going to stick. Imagine they put all these people in jail now. That'd be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? But it probably ain't going to happen. And that wouldn't even be the end of it. Like, if you get rid of these people, that the whole child trafficking thing, all this stuff would stop. No, it fucking wouldn't. How would it stop? It's the tip of the iceberg, man. And you man acting like it's like that's everything, but it's not. There's more. There's more going on. Verse 3: Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. Right? It's saying Most High is having it be told. It's being brought out there. Everything these dudes have been doing and what America's been doing and all these different things, right? Most High's been bringing it out, right, to tarnish the legacy of America, right? And it's going to end with its destruction. That's going to be his ultimate legacy. That this place was so fucking wicked, the Most High had to fucking destroy it off the face of the earth. That's what America's legacy is going to be. And these Edomites' legacy is going to be. It was too fucking. You're so wicked. The Most High just had to burn that place down to the ground. Right, and nobody can live there again. It's so mad. So thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. When Yahushua comes back, man, bro, right, he's not coming to play. Okay? As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms, right? Because you're being taken out. All right. Let me jump down. I'm going to jump down to verse 10 here, right? It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, right? You thought, yeah, you're just going to continue with this wickedness forever, right? You legitimately think that, right? Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, right? So the laws haven't been brought out now, And like you say, like we say, the elites think they have a purpose for bringing this stuff out. Almost the Most High making them, but the elites are being made to believe that they've got their own purpose of bringing these things out, and it causes division and divides in across the world, basically in America, in the politics, everything. No one can trust anything anymore. So that breeds disenchantment, right, and adds to that fuel of the fire when this whole system collapses, man. Right, they're not going to listen to their kings and princes, as the scripture speaks about, right, because they just can't trust them. Like, why should these people have authority over them? These men are a bunch of fucking PDF files and all these different types of things, murderers and sacrifices, all kinds of shit, right? Traffickers, like, we ain't listening to you. So it creates that I said that anarchy that these elites want. So they think they're using it for that purpose, right? But only the Most High is just exposing them basically and showing everybody this is why you're going to be destroyed. All right. Says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none is beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thy enchantments and with this multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast laboured from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. All right. I want to finish off, right? It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be a stubble, and the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants, right? Because I said they've all been involved, all got involved with America, with these Edomites and these elites, right? Been to their parties and did all this fucking nasty, disgusting shit, right? And exported across the world and all that kind of shit. They're all complicit, right? So they're all gonna suffer, but America is just gonna get worse than everybody else. And these Edomites, right? It says, thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. All right. It's Psalm 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, right? So they're bringing all this shit out, not knowing that really is, ultimately, it's not going to work in their favor, right? But the Most High is making them do it anyway, right? So no one can defend America. Ain't no one gonna be defending America when it goes down. This place is the worst place, bro, like that ever existed in terms of its wickedness, and everybody's gonna get to see that by the end of this, when all is said and done. So when it's destroyed, people are gonna be like, "Fuck that place." Yeah, you're gonna have some few men crying because they can't make money there no more, but the rest of the people will be like, "That shit was fucking, nasty as hell, man." And yeah, Bear Man, got killed, civilians or whatever, right? And so you're gonna have people upset with, probably got family, doing the backstroke in the in the Lake of Fire. But aside from that, no one will disagree that America, like, yeah, it kind of deserved it. It won't be up for discussion, right? So again, verse 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, right? And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High Yahweh, for they shall wisely consider what he's doing. They were like, yeah, we understand. We understand. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh and shall trust in him, and all that upright in heart shall glory. Yeah, we're going to glory in the Lord's destruction, man, when he brings it, right? Because it deserves it. The Psalms 12 and 8 said, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. And these are the rich and powerful, these elites, right? These are the wicked men that are exalted, and so the wicked walk everywhere. That's why there's so many of them, right? They're all, like I said, they're all powerful, corporates, and they own all these fucking companies and shit, right? You like, we're being run and controlled by these corporations and all these other, elite dudes, right? And so they're running rings around us, literally, like PDF file rings and all kinds of shit. No, they're actually just running rings of everybody, manipulating everybody, controlling everything. We're getting away with everything, covering for each other and all this different types of shit. Planning what they're gonna do to the masses, bringing in this all new technology, bringing in the MOTB. They're all in it together, man. So the wicked walk on every side. We're surrounded, right? And these people are not, these average people are no fucking better. They ain't got no fucking morals either. So they're just fucking everywhere, right? I just wanted to bring out this point from Revelation 18, right? And this is what what was going on in Babylon, right? After the destruction, they're going to reflect on this stuff, right? So, stop in verse 11. No, I'm going to read verse 11. I'm going to read verse 13, right? The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, i.e. Babylon the Great, America, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So, right, like I said, they're going to have those few men that was making money, right, be upset because they can't make no money from them no more, right? But this is the things that they were selling, or, what they were selling basically, and what America was buying, right? So verse 13 says this, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, right? So, like I said, they run trafficking, right, of children, of people, right? And that's all coming from these files as well. And like, where do these girls come from? Who's their parents? Like, these are people, children or women or whatever, being torn away from different places, right? And like, they're just missing. They're just missing, right? Whether they got them from war-torn zones or wherever they got them from. I don't know who the fuck these women are, right? But then they're just being used as playthings essentially to share around with the boys them, right, and being sold off to the highest bidder and all that type of shit. And things that stuff that the sort of stuff you see in the movies that they make, right? But it's real. But it's actually going on in real life, right? But it just makes it look so crazy that can't really be going on, but it is. There was a movie some dude done. I think it's called The Sound of Freedom, right? That was going into all those rings and all that different types of things, right? And they tried to bash man, criticize the dude, right? Over his movie because it's not quite accurate and all this kind of bullshit, right? For whatever, right? But he was going into all of that sort of stuff, then trafficking people, women, and that kind of stuff, children, around these elites. But you see in like the movie Taken, when the dude's daughter gets kidnapped and he's getting sold to some Arab somewhere, like on a boat, like that shit be going on, man. And this is exactly what we're talking about. It's real. It's real, and these guys are into that shit, like deep, right? Doing all kind of blood sacrifice, doing all kinds of shit, right? With these people that just go missing, right? So it's real. But I say it's not a reality people like to think about or like to accept or acknowledge. But it's fucking gritty, grimy, bro. This place is filthy. And like I said, it's being run by the wicked. So this is shit's going on all the time. All right. But yeah, Matthew chapter 12 verse 25. Like I said, it serves the purpose of creating division in the earth and in America and all these different places, right? Because people can't trust their rulers anymore because everyone's getting implicated, and so that's going to be used as part of the part of the fuel for the fire. When these people kind of raise up against these governments, because they're gonna see them for what they are. These men just wicked. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And that's what you see. The Most High is breaking down this place, right? Having everybody fight over everything, right? Which again, the elites think they're using for their own purpose. Really, the Most High is using it for his own purpose, right? To bring down Esau, right? So every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right? So you got Edomites, jumping on other Edomites, bro. Like, oh, this man's wicked. He's sick and he's evil. But hypocrites. You got Edomites judging other Edomites. It's like, what the hell, man? Other powerful people judging other powerful people. It's like, bro, like, what's going on here? It's just theater, right? But this place is broken, so it's gonna fall. It's gonna collapse. Satan can't cast out Satan. Oops. Right. So I'm going to end it with this. It's from Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. Right. So thou art filled with shame for glory. Right. We're not praising America right now. We're not speaking about how great America is anymore. It's like you got an army. That's about it. But a whole lot of fucking scumbaggery is going on in America. It's vile. Right? It's a dirty place. Right? Ain't nobody bigging up America anymore. Since Trump's been in office, man, it's just been like, America's fucking kind of sucks. They're kind of douchebags. So much shit going on with the ICE and all that kind of shit. It's just like America it don't look good. It ain't looking good, man. And that's the whole point. Okay, the Most High is bringing shame for glory. All right. Drink now also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall return unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right. America's just gonna go down in a bad way with a bad name. And the Most High just revealing all the shit that's on you. Revealing to the world what you really are underneath the glitz and the glamour, beyond the lights, behind the posturing and the lies, right? Showing you what's really going on down there. But the scripture already reveals it all before any of these things even come out in the news or whatever. See, bro has been covering articles and all kinds of stuff before this stuff even made news. You know, but all this, all the dark shadiness of America, we covered it. We knew what was going on. But obviously, them things don't hit the light of day because that's just the realm of conspiracy. But look now, all this shit be going on, man. And I said it's deeper and darker than they even like they even bring it out. But people just don't want to believe that. You know, but you're gonna see it, man. You're gonna see it, man. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there anyway. Lauren has been edifying, and yeah, Bod Babal, man. You know, because this is what has to happen. Okay, rightly so. All right. So I'm gonna end it there. Lauren, it's been edifying. Shalom. Until next time. Shalom. Shalom.